Yep. Yep. All right, guys. Welcome to some Dota. My name is Sky at Reach4sKai, sKaiHIGgaming here. I am joined with jackcalz. He's going to be co-casting with me here in our Best of 2 series for the Reddit. What is it? The Requiem Autumn League? This is such a
Yeah,
craziness. It's the first one of the series of this Best of 2. Should be a lot of fun. We've got LinksOfSausage versus Luckless Gaming. I kind of picked these teams to cast in as a haphazard sweep because the names were awesome.
hmm
Because I've definitely got a lot of requests for people that are looking for casting for these games. Because who wouldn't want someone yelling at their game very emphatically? Because I would at least. But
absolutely. Especially considering your background as a coach, they're in for some maybe a little criticism here and
oh
there.
well, I would say that my casting style is definitely unique. However, I think anyone that looks to review this game will be able to get something out of it, whether it's just sheer enjoyment of the cast or the analytical properties that we'll just subtly throw into it. But we've got our bans out here. We've got Meepo and Lich as the bans out for LinksOfSausage, and they're going to first pick up an Ogre Magi, whereas Luckless Gaming choosing to get rid of the choosing to get rid of the Void and Timber, and then going in the opposite direction with a Drow as their first pickup here. So
Yeah.
we could be kind of expecting some sort of cheesiness of, a full range drafter lineup, because that's generally kind of how I associate the Drow Ranger. But, we'll see how Luckless choose to go into this. Now, do you know anything about either of these teams?
I have never seen any of these players before, I believe.
Oh, this is going to be exciting. Let's just make wild speculations then. The
Yeah.
biggest amount of wild speculations we can make. Okay, Drow, Oracle. To me, this kind of screams that LinksOfSausage needs to ban Huskar. Just
Yeah.
because, the Drow aura on top of the Huskar, Oracle, super strong synergy with it. And, Oracle is pretty strong against the Ogre, being able to get rid of the magic immunity and then also the ton of heal coming out almost as fast as the LinksOfSausage would be able to even administer the damage. So, I do like that. What are some
Yeah.
heroes that you would like to see picked up in this game?
I'm not really sure. Obviously, when I see the Dro, the last series that I cast, actually, the Dro was instrumental when either side picked it in getting the lanes pushed and getting the towers pushed down. Both games that I watched had a Dro and had two very push-heavy teams. So they might be looking for some sort of enabling that push
I
here.
don't know
I'm not
about
really sure what they
you,
would
but
pick.
I would love to see a Tesla Drow in this game, where
Mhm.
they build up with Helmet Dominator, Dragonlance, then get Maelstrom Ags, and then they get
Uh-huh.
a second Maelstrom.
I've never
Yeah,
heard that phrase before. Tesla Drow.
the Tesla Drow, because when the Aghanims works with the Drow Ranger, you know how it splits? Well, the
Yes.
initial strike has a chance to proc Maelstrom, and then each of the splits also independently have chance to proc Maelstroms. So that's 3 different proc chances of Maelstrom all at the same time. So
Wow.
yeah, you can see how it can get pretty silly, but
Yes.
dependent on a lot of other items for it to even get going, and it's not really going to be as strong unless LinksOfSausage opts to go for some sort of illusion based something or else. So
Yeah, one of the issues that I saw in both games was they kind of allowed the Drow to get a lot of farm early, and that allowed her to go for those more higher damage builds and become more of a presence in the mid game. And so that's especially important on a hero like the Drow when you go for a build like that. And we'll see if they're able to pull it off here. Definitely the Oracle is helpful in keeping your heroes alive.
if there's one thing that Oracle can do, I would say that would be it. I mean, there's other things that Oracle can do too, but that's definitely one thing I would say Oracle can do.
Absolutely.
So we've got a Tidehunter and an Ogre for LinksOfSausage. A lot of strength, which is interesting because Luckless opting to get rid of the Timbersaw very early. Timber would do well against both those parties. Also getting rid of Slark. So Luckless is banning a lot of heroes that can close space, because they want to try and keep everyone at a distance right now, which makes me even more inclined to think that Luckless is going to opt for some sort of cheesy, all-ranged draft. They might be a little bit weak
Yeah.
in the initiation stage, too. Or at least that's kind of how it's looking preliminarily. So we'll kind of have to play out the way that it goes from here.
What kind of hero would you be looking for links to draft in response to sort of an all range kind of greedy lineup?
Things that can just man fight early and often. We've
Mhm.
got a Tidehunter, that's not going to fight early and often. We've got an Ogre. he can kind of herp derp in to fight to start it off, but he really won't be able to be a good player early on. I think LinksOfSausage may need to opt to get like a lion and then some things that can rotate really strong and get in a very close range.
Yeah.
So
And
they need to
obviously,
be on
when
top
you
of
say
Drow.
those things, right? And when you say those things, the first thing that comes to mind is the Spirit Breaker, of course, and that is banned.
Oh
So-
yeah, for sure. Spirit Breaker's definitely good at accomplishing those things. You know, with the range of skill that we're going to see across this tournament, it would be pretty hard to pinpoint how any team is going to draft because we don't know enough about them.
Absolutely.
As a whole.
It's kind of it's pretty much a free for all from what I've experienced.
And a lot of these teams are playing each other in these best of 2 series, and they may not know anything about them. So, you know, just kind of going into the group stages like that, it's really interesting to see how these teams are reacting, responding, picking, and drafting, whether being reactive to the enemy's draft or being a little bit more proactive to kind of work around that. It looks like LinksOfSausage was just kind of leading off with that strong Ogre Magi support, but now that they see this draft coming around Luckless, they're trying to be responsive to that, and it looks like they may be struggling with that.
Yeah, and while they pick up the Bane here, I'm not really sure what they're trying to go for with that. It's not really. I mean,
well, think about it this
I
way.
don't know.
LinksOfSausage is going to have a really strong defensive safe lane now. They've got a Bane and an Ogre. If that clockwork goes up, out of position at all, Nightmare, stun, carry,
yeah,
follow up right there. So
yeah, very nice.
LinksOfSausage could opt for something crazy like a Sven. And I think that could be maybe a good way that they approach it. Yeah, they're going to have a weird safe lane, you know, Ogre, Bane, Sven. But the Sven is going to get extremely strong. They're going to be able to zone very well for them. And then the Tidehunter, again, in the off lane, he may struggle. He may need to get an Iron Talon and fall back on the jungle. But that's kind of just like the sack lamb of the play because he won't be able to lane against a Drow and an Oracle.
Right. And at the very least, towards the end, he'll have the ultimate. And that'll be, once he gets that level 6, he becomes more relevant, obviously.
So something we didn't talk about is LinksOfSausage banned out Venge and Shadow Demon. Maybe they were anticipating this Mirana nonsense, and they did the Bane almost as like a pseudo counterpick, but also at the same time they're going to run it with the Ogre. Because, you know, preemptively going in and anticipating a Mirana pickup, that synergizes very well with the Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger may end up just being fodder piece and being used for the aura more so than anything else, because Drow Ranger sometimes can get behind. And then, if that were to happen, you bring her back in by just giving her a lot of stats, so the other people who didn't fall behind that are ranged characters are able to kind of pull themselves out of it a little bit better and really assert their dominance to allow Drow to come back in on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Luckless Gaming's like damage output and even their team fight actually looks kind of scary at this point. But LinksOfSausage does have a lot of tools to deal with it. We'll see what they go for in terms of cores that will back that up. And I think the Sven pick actually would be pretty good. I don't know if they'll pick it here, but definitely would be viable, I think.
The only thing is they can manipulate the Sven pretty well. Oracle Lockdown, Drow Ranger Slow, Mirana Arrow, Clockwork, Cogs. So they've got a lot of things that they could play around with the Sven, which is the only reason why I don't like it. As much as I do like it, that's the only worry that I would have if they were to pick a Sven. But this Luna, this can maybe be the thing that they need here. It's got a lot of strong push behind her, is also a close range carry, so we'll need to get close enough to the Drow Ranger to break that aura.
Yeah,
I feel like she might just be a little weak. Luna has not really been in the pro scene for a while, and a lot of it's because of how she kind of scales up. Now, with this Ogre and this Bane, they'll be able to zone out the Clockwork well enough that Luna should be able to get farm, but then it comes down to whether or not this Drow Ranger is going to be able to push as fast as this Luna, or vice versa, and then the rotations the teams make as a whole after they're able to start taking their early objectives.
Yeah, and Luna's not really known for her durability, and with a Mirana and a Drow Ranger and a Clockwork, like, I don't know, that's going to be tough for the Luna to stay alive. But with the disables, though, at the same time, it could be interesting. It might come down to the fights and how the fights turn out. If they get if Luckless gets the initiation onto the Luna, I don't see the Luna surviving a lot.
So what hero would you like to see as a final pickup from LinksOfSausage? They're banning out the Rubik here. They're anticipating one more support still. They don't want to give up Tide Ravage. They still need a mid. They still need a mid.
I mean, you know, the DP is in the pool, I guess, but it's kind of hard to say. Like, there's no... Ooh, Invoker. What do you think of this pick?
I like it a lot. I think they needed that type of control. It comes down to if they have an Invoker player, because this is kind of a curveball that they're pulling out here. Typically, you're going to see an Invoker have much higher priority in terms of the picking stage in Captain's mode, really. So maybe Luckless just weren't even expecting it. They got rid of Tinker and some other scary things too, but Luckless's bans were much more so emphasized on the carry and offlaner than that of dealing with who they could have been going up in the mid.
Speaking of experience from this playing in this league, the Invoker obviously a sort of higher skill. What do you call it? Like it's harder to pick up.
Skill cap. Skill cap.
Yeah, skill cap. Right. And some teams, including the team that I was on, kind of forget about him sometimes.
Sidebar before time runs out. You think we're gonna have a Visage? Ooh. 5, 4.
Wow, that would actually be
3,
cool.
2, 1. Lion.
Wow, that would have been cool.
Lion's good and strong, so I'm happy with this. But Visage would have been great just to go with the Drow aura.
Ooh,
I wasn't expecting Visage to get ignored with the Drow pickup, to be quite candid.
Honestly, I don't know. Is this upper bracket or lower bracket?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I actually don't know what the boundaries of MMR are, but definitely, like, I almost never saw a Visage last year. Almost never. Like, I think maybe one game. So it's really rare in this league, and maybe that's why it was ignored. But that was definitely a good call with the Visage.
All right, well, without further ado, let's read off these teams. So out of LG, we've got No Fun Allowed on the Drow Ranger, rocking out in the safe lane here. Nakimov on the Lion. Herpadurka on the Oracle. Stairs on Marana. And finally, we've got, what is that? Asam Broso on the Clockwork. And you want to give us a rundown of LOS?
Absolutely. We got JP Rider 63 on the Bane, Sausage Link on the Luna, Original Yankster manning the Invoker, Voltis on the two-headed Ogre, and finally, down the bottom, Papillon on the Tidehunter.
So it's kind of interesting that the Tidehunter is just already like sitting out near the tower, off by himself. Pretty defensive postures for both teams for this top rune. Looks like we're going to have a 4-on-4 engagement up here. Lion looking to lead the way. I'm not sure. Are they going to try and commit a lot in on this? We've got the Sunstrike ready for Invoker, and we're all balling up into something. We've got the Cogs and the Arrow falling out. Yanks are taking tons of damage here. He's probably going to go down. Sunstrike has dropped down on Asam. He's going to take some heavy fodder. The Ignite's going to fall. Sausage Link going to go down to right clicks too. Asam taking some Ignite burn, but he's not going to go anywhere. Nakimov just going to kind of click away on Voltis and poke him off. Drop a little bit of a Observer Ward in the meantime too, and they're going to take to their lanes. Looks like LG running with an aggressive tri-lane right now, or at least the supports are going to hang out while Asam goes and heals.
Yeah, that was a very nice job by the Clockwork there with the ranged heroes on LG. He basically just trapped in those heroes and made them cannon fodder essentially.
Yeah, interesting predicament how that came out there. I think it was very greedy for LOS to try and engage in on that, recognizing that the level 1 fight was definitely in LG's favor with the amount of control that they had. So I think we're going to find most of our action to be in the top lane right now. We've got this obscure tri-lane fight going on, and, well, I guess right now it's a 2v3. But it's going to be weird kind of how this engages out. It looks like it's going to be Nakimov trying to poke away the Bane a lot. And then Ogre's going to be doing this dance in between them all, because he's got 6 base regen with double mangoes. He doesn't even need to use these tangos. He's just like, oh, I've got 6 regen, guys.
Yep. And with the second, the second highest base armor in the game.
We've got an initiation coming off on Sausage Link. They're going to get the Purge off there, and Nakimov nightmared away, but Asam should be able to finish up with that right click. And Herpadurka just taking a quick little nap from that nightmare.
This is exactly what LG wants out of this aggressive tri-lane, right? The Luna is very weak, you know, only 560 in the health pool. She's going to go down very quickly, and with no mana on the Ogre Magi, very low mana on the Bane, he's going to have a lot of trouble.
This is the problem going the double Enchanted Mango build on Ogre, because he's got all this mana that's available only as a burst instance, and he can't get that cheaper, easy regeneration coming through as he would with like a Clarity.
Right.
So now he's useless in the lane, and they're switching up lanes a little bit. Tidehunter's now come top. Bane is still here with the Ogre, and they've switched the Luna up in the bottom lane to go solo against this Drow Ranger.
Wow, this is spicy. I don't know if this is gonna work. I mean, there could just be a counter rotation here, and then kind of back and forth, back and forth. I mean, I don't see this Luna staying here and surviving.
All right, well, we've got eyes on mid. Herpadurka has rotated in the mid lane. Arrow is going to connect on Youngster. He's going to follow up the Fortune's End, and that's going to be way too much for Youngster. He's just going to get poked on down, double damage on the Mirana too, to really cement things in there. So this Roam coming out of LG, super strong, and this tri-lane fight up in the top lane, only being fortuitous for them.
Yeah, it was like, that was very nice stacking there. The Invoker had no chance. Like, he had no way to cast any spells, even if he had them, so he was pretty much good as dead as soon as the Mirana walked there.
So now in the bottom lane, we've got Sausage Link trying to farm up against No Fun Allowed. And, I mean, Drow already, needless to say, was in a good position because of the laning being against the Tidehunter. But now, with the Ogre and the Luna together, it's interesting that this Drow Ranger has been able to even stay in the lane. Oh, man, Ogre went for Bloodlust level 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of curious. And we know he ate one of his mangoes also. So this laning stage is not going well for LG, because there's more rotations coming out for LOS at this point. Bane is going bottom, and now it's a one-on-one top of a Tidehunter versus a Clockwork. And you know who's going to win this? Clockwork.
Yeah.
Clockwork's going to win that lane. And then we look at this fight that's going to be happening bottom. This tri-lane, and then that also is going to go in LG's favor, because Sausage Link is getting purged out. We got to stun off on No Fun Allowed. A couple more right clicks to follow, and Luna is going to live.
Wow. Was that Bloodlust, though?
That might have been the Bloodlust save. Okay, now granted, Ogre is level 3, so 111 is available on him, okay?
Alright, there we go. Now he's got him. That's good. You know, I was about to say when that happened, like, oh my god, the fight top. If he had stun there, it could have gone differently, but he didn't.
Right, so knock him off rotated top. They've got a Hex out on Papillon. They're going to be able to follow up with the Starstorm, the Arrow, and the stun, and he's going to fall. So another good trade going way of LG, and this follow-up, LOS. They're in a rough spot, and we're going to be relying on this Invoker to make some plays happen. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only place that I can really see them pulling out a denominator that hasn't been used, because they keep juggling these lanes back and forth. They're almost running like 2-1-2 now, and it's just not going out in LOS's favor.
Absolutely not. I mean, we're just seeing the aggressive plays from LG. Their rotations are on point. Like, they're just managing to pick off heroes right and left. The Luna's died twice already. All bad news across the board from LOS.
So we've got a little bit of a promenade down here. Bane and Ogre leading the way. Luna casually farming in the lane too.
Oh.
It seems like they can just hold this with Oracle and No Fun Allowed by themselves. The extra damage coming in from Precision Aura are really doing wonders for them.
Yeah, 3 levels in that Precision Aura. Definitely helping those ganks as well, getting that damage in.
There's just no way for LOS to engage us down here. I think they need to cut their differences, get their Luna in that jungle ASAP, throw a support in the lane to try and get experience that way, and try and just go full greed mode. Put LG in a position that they need to make decisions by forcing pushes on towers. Because this Drow Ranger, it's kind of weird, you know? 3 in Precision Aura, 1 in Gust, and then the other 1 in Stats. So they don't even care about the Cold Aura to this point. It's just Stats and push towers. That's kind of what it looks like with this Drow. And they'll definitely be able to benefit with it with the Mirana and Oracle and Lion so much. That just benefits from it. And, you know, they positioned around the Drow, but they also drafted Drow first. So they kind of put some of those cards out on the table for themselves.
Yeah, and also the decision to put these 3 heroes down bottom is sapping this Luna of levels. She's only level 4 at this point. The Drow, I think, just hit level 6, or is very close to level 6. So
yep, there it is,
another
right there.
place where they're lagging behind. And did she just? Okay, no, she put it in her arrows. Her marksmanship, sorry. Wow.
Yeah, so now we've got Clockwork left to his own bidding in the top lane, because Tidehunter's been pressured out. They are now smoked up as 4. They're going to try and just make a fight happen. They've dropped the aggressive vision. They're going to walk right on into this. Big stun coming off. The arrow just a little bit off the mark on side, but it's going to go off anyway. The stun out on 3. Volas is going to go down. Certain Strike's going to hit on Herpadirk and Nakamov. Doesn't really matter, though. Lucent Beam to follow. Nakamov still not dead. Clockwork already rotated in. There's the hook. The battery assault follow-up on Bane is going to be way too much for him. He won't be able to cast anything, and no fun allowed, and now getting the double killed. It is a 1-for-3 exchange, and they are still going for Papillon. Pings are coming out on bottom. Papillon salving up, getting gusted into the trees. 15 seconds on his TP, so he's not going anywhere. And Asom going to get that last hit with the rocket flare in the end.
What a disastrous fight for LOS there. And at first I thought with that pretty decent Ravage on 2, they might be able to turn it around, but the gust and the strength from the Joe Ranger, it's just too strong. Plus they managed to take out the Ogre Magi pretty early, so nice fight there from LG.
So while LG's taking these objectives, Youngster not really having the impact that he needs to. He threw Sunstrike into that fight, but aside from that, not really achieving anything. Almost killed Herpadirk actually right there.
Yeah, his Sunstrike, that Sunstrike that he did cast did hit on 2 and got them very low, but there was no follow-up from LOS at that point. I think 2 heroes were already dead. Very difficult.
So while all these fights are happening on bottom, while they were taking the tower and all those sorts of things, Youngster realistically needed to be pressuring the lane and pressuring the tower. Eventually, they rotated Nakamov out there after he backed... Wait, no, he died in the last fight previously. So after he had rezzed from that fight, he TP'd out to lane, and then Youngster was just in a one-on-one situation. And then at that point, he could have probably followed up with a combo of, you know, Cold Snap and a Sunstrike, realistically, with his Forge Spirits out, and probably gotten a kill. But he didn't already have his Forge Spirits out, and he really wasn't pressuring the tower, too. And
at least they're from the claws.
Not going to hit.
Yeah, especially with the claws exort build, you're looking to push towers a lot. You're looking to push the lanes a lot. And at the very least, that's what he could have done there. But he decided not to, I guess.
Yeah, a little quick cold snap on Marana. She's just going to leap away. And then we've got a smoke up as 2. Herpadirka and Nakamov look like they're going to be rotating to the top lane. We've got Clockwork just doing it straight TPing up on there right now. And they're not going to see this coming. They don't have the proper vision down, and they're already smoked up as is. No vision down. They will have vision down to see stairs rotating there, so just by virtue of him, I don't think that's going to be scary for them. But with the rest of them coming out, Nightmare on Lion, there's the stun on JP Ryder, and he's just immediately dead. So he got caught out of the position, and now there's more pings coming out. They're going to look to try and get some blood here on Sausage Link.
Yeah.
They have Hookshot available.
Pump fake.
Yeah, they've got Tidehunter rotating. Ogre's nearby too. Invoker can always just throw out a Sunstrike. He's not going to have a TP to rotate, though. I actually said that without checking, and then I looked and noticed he didn't, so I was a little happy on that intuition, but also sad at the same time. Oh, he misses Hook! Huge ultimate coming out from Luna, and Papin is going to be able to follow up on the rest of them. Nakamov taking fodder in one end. Sausage Link going to fall down in the end in the trees, and now Nakamov just going to try and TP out, not going to be able to. Fire Blast is there, and the Bloodlust to follow. But meanwhile, Amos playing around with Papillon a little bit. He's going to cog him out. He's stuck in the trees still, though. He might fall. I don't think Voltus recognizes that he's still... Yeah, he's not. He's just going to walk away. Okay, Clockwork running away. Herpadirka makes himself spell immune. Going to try and heal himself up. He's got his mana boots. Oh, the Nightmare with the stun. They're not going to be able to get him. Wow. Now, Asom just going to be able to push them away. He's got his cogs. And now, again, LOS grouped up as 4, with no fun allowed fighting Youngster in mid. Following up with the Gus. He's diving the tower a little bit. Everything's okay. Yeah, that's it.
This Marana's trying to get out. She was stuck up on those trees for so long. I don't know how they didn't know she was there. Oh, she leaped away into the other trees.
She's drawing his... Oh, Lion was drawing an escape path for him on the mini-map. Just like, Marana, quick, go this way. You'll be okay.
This is Marana to base. What's my safest route?
But she's getting 38 damage from Precision Aura right now.
Wow.
That's so much damage earned into this game. It's almost like running around with a DD at all points in times. And, you know, once Drow gets a little bit more stats, really isn't even much more. It's gonna be a straight DD at all points in time for her.
This is the power of that Drow strat.
And then it's going to be almost a DD on Lion and almost a DD on Oracle. Because look at them all. They're all sitting around the 60 damage range, and then they've got another 38 on top of it.
Believable.
But we got a DC out of Oracle. We're on a pause in the game for him. So let's take a look at the spread at the items in this game right now. So that would be a F5 for the quick button. Mirana, Boots of Speed, gonna have her phase boots up in a jiff, then working towards that Aghanims. Spread across the characters on the team, we see a HOD on the Drow Ranger, so we can hopefully expect her to dominate a creep and start stacking up Ancients or other camps for ourselves. Clockwork is gonna have the Blade Mail relatively soon. Oracle has the mana boot, so that's nice and strong for her. On the flip side of the coin, we've got boots finished on a couple heroes on Team LOS, but Bane and Ogre both still do not have boots at 11 minutes and 30 seconds, so that's a little bit of an issue. Invoker having the Midas, but that Midas came online very late, so they're really going to try and have to play the safe game in order to be okay in the end, but with Invoker now up to level 9 too, they may be okay.
Yeah, I am not experienced at all in the Invoker. What do you think of this, like, late hand of Midas decision from Youngster?
Well, Invoker needs levels to do well, and although items can help accelerate him, he does wonderfully with levels. Level 8 is a pretty big peak for him, because he gets potentially level 2 Forge Spirits.
Got a hook shot mid.
Yeah, Asom is just going to try and go in deep. Youngster gets nightmared out to try and help him out, but it's not going to be enough. There's the Hex on JP Ryder. Stun to follow as well with the Battery Assault. It's just going to be death. And Volts does TP in at the end. But, you know, just leading up on that, Invoker can kind of play out two different ways. He can play very aggressive and accelerate his farm that way, or he can farm Midas and push out. And I'm not really sure what type of Invoker we're seeing right now. I think right now this Midas is much more for catch-up and just to try and keep himself up at the top of the net worth, since he is struggling as is like that. Since right now, if you're checking it, you know, he's around 43-60 right now. The Mirana leading it, as is the Drow crushing it. So comparatively, you know, we're looking at this Drow Ranger, we're looking at this Luna, and well over 2k difference. And that's going to be a big deal with how Drow farms her entire team up into being strong, because her Precision R is now plus 52 damage for her allies.
Unbelievable. This is a really rough state of affairs for LOS. They have already a well over 5,000 gold difference from their enemies. It's really tough to get in here, and down goes the Luna.
Yeah, they have now ulted and smoked up into the jungle, and I think they're going to be able to turn this in on there. They are grouped up as 3 into 4. Herpedurka lets know that they are there, and now they're split off a bit. The arrow does connect on Bane. Sunstrike to hit nothing. A little bit optimistic. I think Lion's going to try and jump back in on this. He throws out the Hex. Starstorm to follow up. Ravage is going to go off on 4. Are they going to have any follow-up to go with this? The stun is out on Lion. There's the Gust to follow. Nakamov following back. Papillon almost dead. Is going to fall in the end. The stun going to go off on JP Ryder again. Stairs is going to be able to get out of that. And now it's a 2-for-0 exchange. Sausage Link running in way too late with this Eclipse. Throwing out the Lucence Beam on Durka. I think they're going to be able to follow up on her and take her out too. Asom going to cog her out into the trees. They're going to have the Gust to follow as well. And Nakamov is going to get the kill with Stairs helping out.
Wow. That was such a rough engagement for LOS there. I was kind of surprised the Tidehunter popped the Ravage then, and then when the rest of the team came in after that, they were kind of out of position to begin with, but the Forge Spirits were blocking their way down the stairs, so it was just a clumsy, awkward fight for LOS, and it cost them dearly.
Well, it looks like Stairs has just found Youngster out of position. The dust has come off, but he's not going to have any follow-up there. The curse of having no mana. But they're going to be able to follow up on this mid tower, and that has fallen. Looking at this map vision right now, you know, toggling back and forth, you can see that the dire vision is pretty minimal. They really see their tower and nothing. Flashing back onto the Radiant, though, they've got no wards up, but as a team, they're in some pretty good spots. They've got vision up over the Secret Shop now, too. Actually blocking out that camp from spawning with their ward placement. Not sure if that was on purpose. But, yeah. No fun allowed farming away. He's going to have Hurricane Pipe pretty soon, too.
Definitely a consequence of this aggression from LG and the difference in net worth. It's really difficult to get those wards out, especially with the Moonlight Shadow.
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow is ever present, but No Fun Allowed is definitely going to be able to take out this Roshan right here. And Hurricane Pike's going to be pretty soon for him, too.
Smoke from LOS, though.
Yeah, they've done the little scan. They're right underneath the ward. They're going in on that. That Roshan's getting really close. 2,000 HP remaining on it. They know they're all there. The Oracle has now broken it. There's the Lucent Beam to follow. Tidehunter does not have Ravage. There's a stun out on Luna. We've got a bit of a purge coming out on the back end. They are going to be able to claim the Aegis with the Hex out on... Oh my god, big initiation from the Clockwork. Luna's just going to be able to go down. Meatball to follow. Clockwork is not going to be able to do anything there, but we have the Ravage falling off. Herpadurka, super low. Just going to kind of run away. Volts is going to get fingered by Nakamov in the back end, and he's going to fall. Finally, we've got a Fiend's Grip off on No Fun Allowed, but he has the Aegis, so it really doesn't matter in the end. He's just going to revs on up immediately, and Youngster now on the retreat. He has a Midas that he needs to proc. It's not going to happen. He's going to die. I just like to point out that the Midas was off cooldown. That was it. There's JP Ryder. He's going to be continued to be assaulted. They have the Hex, they have the Frost Arrow, and Stairs is going to be able to finish him with the help of Drow Ranger getting the last hit.
Man, and that could have gone so much worse for LOS. The scan literally was right on the edge of that smoke. If it had flashed even for red for a second, I think LG would have been a little bit more prepared for that fight. But even so, they do a wonderful job of cleaning up LOS's heroes. A very nice initiation from Clockwork. He does go down, but still manages to break apart the fight, take out the Luna very quickly, and overall, a very big win for LG.
I'm scared to look at the net worth graph, but I'm going to. So right now we're at about 29 to 16. So about a 12, 13k lead for LG right now. And they're definitely playing a patient game. But still, they're taking their objectives based on what they're able to see on the map, and they're taking decisive action. They just placed a lot of vision in the middle, if you can see that.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit weird. That's kind of setting their tone that they're putting precedence on getting this bottom tower right now. So really, all their vision is pretty much to get the bottom tower. So it's all committed on that. Then after that, they're going to have to look to do something else separately. Probably push out the top or maybe even pressure the bottom tower. They don't have the Aegis anymore because that went down in the last fight. After the commitment of so much magic damage to them.
Yeah, I actually could see, like, I wouldn't have been opposed to them trying to make a play on the high ground there. Obviously, they don't have the Aegis anymore, but they know Ravage is down for at least another 40 seconds at that point. But instead, they decide to play it safe, farm up a little bit more, get even more prepared. Maybe they even wait for the next Roche, I'm not really sure. I mean, that's a long time, but...
So,
do it.
Just an update on our Invoker. He's got Midas, drums, and, right now, he's sitting at a little bit under 6k net worth, so underneath the Clockwork at this point. So the net worth is very heavily spread in favor of this Drow and company. And it looks like they're almost looking to try and get Youngster again in the top lane. The Drow Ranger is going up top. Asom has already shot off the Rocket Flare and did know about Invoker's existence. And again, we're going to just switch back the vision to showing Radiant only, just so you guys can get a little bit of a perspective boost. So Radiant have no vision here, aside from in one dropped in the mid lane on this Ogre, and then the one on the bottom. They don't know about the enemy Dire Ward up on this top tower, and they can only see two right now. Switching on the ladder to the Dire vision, they can see three in the lane right now, and they don't see the other two, but you can assume them to be nearby based on this other vision that they see. So right now, they could probably assume that they're in 5, and this top tower is probably just going to go down. They can't really contest it. They have to play with the map. They know everyone else is top, so they got to go bottom.
Yep. It's really tough for them at this point. They'd love to fight. They have all their cooldowns ready to go, but they just don't have the strength anymore. LG has taken too big of a lead, and they're winning the vision game as well.
Yeah, it's a rough day if you are LG.
Look at this massive supercharged tower.
Hey man, sometimes that's why you get Bloodlust, just to have a throbbing tower. We've got a hook shot that's going to come off on Papillon. The arrow is going to be on the mark. Sunstrike as well. Asom taking tons of damage. Blade Mail a little bit bad. JP Ryder now going to fall. The Finger of Death out. There comes the Luna ultimate. It's going to do tons of damage. Nakamov might fall, but Oracle is able to save him in the end. Youngster going to back up here, and Sausage Link really needs to check his privilege. He's going to get hit by this arrow if he's not careful. Back he goes to the base. He is okay.
Oh my goodness. I actually managed to get the line on the back line, and the fight's actually compared to the other fights in this game, are going a little bit better for LOS, but they're still losing objectives, and that's what you really don't want to see.
Yeah. Well, Volts gets a stun off on stairs off of a buyback. Wait, what? I saw a buyback. I'm not nuts.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Alright, well, Herpadurka just going down to the Invoker. They did use Ravage for this. And Stairs doesn't go down! Super low HP at 60 right there. Oh boy. Tidehunter is going to try and get the follow-up. There's the Gush! She's going for it! Leap in 4 seconds! 3, 2, you've got the phase active! The phase active is there. If she uses Leap, she won't have TP. Now she's hiding in the trees. Oh no! 15! Oh, they get her!
Wow. Exciting chase there.
Oh man, so much action. The murder is everywhere, guys.
Yeah, it's something. It's not nothing. Let's put it that way. You know, LOS taking an okay team fight. They actually don't lose any objectives there, which I think is pretty important. The high ground still has not been breached, but that said,
every kill matters, and they've got all of their tier 3s.
Yeah,
that's the short version.
You know, yeah. Yeah, they have 90 seconds on Ravage. I think they'll be able to contest the next Roche. I'm pretty sure they will be able to with the Ravage. So
a damage check right now. Drow Ranger is giving plus 63 damage to the team.
Oh my goodness!
Or her
and now
range
picked up
units at least.
DD.
Oh yeah, she's hitting pretty hard right now. 189 and plus 282. Yeah, definite 10 out of 10. That is a lot of damage.
Unbelievable. Wow, look at this Clockwork going deep. They have vision? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have that one ward in the middle lane. Clockwork is looking for the hook. Maybe.
Oh, he's asking Astro to come along, I think.
Yeah, asking Drow to come up there. Checking the vision, contrary, Dire versus Radiant. We're able to see how their ward placement is affecting it. So the Radiant are able to see just outside of the middle, and they have now the high ground of the Spire up here too. On the flip side, Dire are going to see almost very similar vision themselves. They've got a ward placed on the top, and then they've got one in the middle also.
Yeah, it's not bad. And this middle ward for the Radiant's actually going to expire in a few seconds, so their vision has actually kind of reduced at this point. They may want to look to refresh that.
We've got a fight that is probably going to break out in the top lane here. They're grouped up as 4. Clockwork just a little bit off to the side. They're split off relatively okay, but a Tidehunter could still get a nice Ravage off on multiple of them. You can try and look at their grouping to see how they will act in relation to a Tide ult, but they're split off relatively okay. No Fun Allowed is trying to lead the charge. He gets off the Hurricane Pike on Youngster, and he's going to go down. Oh, he doesn't use the Hurricane Pike. Voltus goes down. There is the Ravage. Ravage actually landing on 4. We've got the Meatball following. There's a Deafening Blast, 2. 1 going to go down. 2 going to go down as well. Papillon is going to try and run away. We've got the Lucent Beam out on Herpadurka. Tidehunter falls, too. Asom Broso getting healed up. Double buyback coming out of Los immediately. Asom, he's getting healed up by his team. We've got a Sunstrike to follow. Pop goes Asom. Herpadurka on the retreat, Sausage Link trying to pursue, and we've got a Gus going uphill, and there's the Purge. Papillon is not able to continue the fight. We've got a Drum Charge proc, though. They're going to try and hunt down Herpadurka. They'll be able to get him, but not necessarily the Drow as well, and off into the trees. We've got the Yules used, and it's just a quick death. Just a quick death.
Yeah, so
NBD.
I mean, now it looks like a decent fight for LOS, but really it's not. There were many buybacks used there. At least they don't lose any additional objectives, but still, kind of a costly defense of their base there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But Tidehunter farming up as best he can. He's going to have his 4 staff coming online pretty soon. Luna having already picked up the Dragonlance, working towards her BKB at this point, and Youngster still Midasing away. I'm not sure what his next item's going to be looking at this point. He's got 1,300 in the bank. We could probably see maybe some upgraded boots or an Aghanims at this point. Probably Ags being a little bit better, but he's been running around brown boots for a long, long time. I think he would have been better having phase instead of nothing. Just like for the duration that it's been brown.
Yeah, and
like I can recognize wanting to get boots of travel eventually. But
yeah, it's a little confusing.
Just like the worth of it, because you're getting the bonus movement speed from Yules, from drums. If you want to go fast, like, go fast, man.
Yeah.
That's
Gotta go fast.
exactly. If you want to
Yep.
go fast, just go fast.
Put up those quaz balls, roleplay Sonic, easy game.
Wait, no, but yeah, you cross balls you're blue, but your wax balls
Yeah,
go fast. Okay, we just got to be
Oh,
a
true,
purple
right.
Sonic instead.
I was thinking the color, not the actual ability. That shows how skilled I am.
Yeah, it's okay.
Um,
I'm thinking more of practicality. You can think about the aesthetics, and I'll think about the practicality, and then together I think it'll be okay.
Together we make a good team, I
It'll
guess.
be okay there. It'll be okay.
Um, yeah, I also wanted to say something about this Tidehunter Force Staff. They actually don't have a mech on the side of LOS. Do you think the Tidehunter would have done better getting a mech there? Or trying to, at least? Probably wouldn't have had it yet.
You know, it's interesting how all of the supports pretty much only have boots and then just nothing else because of how they've been rotating around the game. Yes, they've been relying heavily on this Tidehunter to try and get these good initiations off. However, a mech probably would have given them some good value because they would have been able to fight into the team. And then if he followed up with Guardian Greaves as well, he would have been able to take off any sort of gust or anything like that. It would make him even tankier. And the sustain as an overall for his team would probably be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to be quite candid, I would rather him have, you know, the Arcane Boots into the Blink Dagger then following up with the Guardian Greaves. But again, this is under, all in theory at least, a much shorter time frame because with the amount of farm he has at this point in time, it's really not going to be ideal for him.
Yep. I think, just lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Well, they've got Aegis for the Radiant. LG. Luckless Gaming might be looking to go in for the throat here. They're grouped up as 4 in mid. Asom leading the charge. Stairs right behind him. No fun allowed. Ready with the Manta and Hurricane Pike. Plus 77 damage on the Precision Aura now. So that is just helping as a value to his whole team. Just like the damage really helps. Everyone on the team's right click have impact.
Yeah, especially in these pushes. I mean, anytime LOS loses a couple of heroes, they're instantly on the tower and taking those objectives. And they can do it so quickly with that damage. During the fight, before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight.
So we got a big spread out here. These teams are really looking to initiate on here. Clockwork trying to look for that hook shot on Invoker, maybe recognizing it could be a bad idea. Arrow not going to connect on anything, and we've just got like a slow siege going on the high ground right now. Drow Ranger could be trying to pressure it a little bit with Manta too if she chose to. And with no tower in the mid or top lane, it's pretty easy for them to continue the pressure on these racks if they want to. But they're whittling away at the melee racks rather than the range racks, so that will not be any definitive damage if they back enough that it can just heal on up. But a lot of pings coming out.
I don't think LG is backing away without a fight here. They got the Aegis. They're ready to go.
Yeah, they're just looking for it.
Pops.
Without that fort being online, that could be good for them, but we've got ults on all sides. Oh, big jump coming out.
Nice Force Staff keeping the Drow alive.
Yeah, and Lion blinked in there, immediately didn't see it, and then walked away very casually, so that was good on him too. But yeah, that was the Drow Ranger with her own Hurricane Pike, so much use for her. For a long time, I was a big proponent of getting Blink Dagger on Drow Ranger, and maybe in certain situations I still am, but I think Hurricane Pike is a much more pragmatic use of a similar idea.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's like escape and a turn. I mean, that's...
Down goes the ranged Rax. There's going to be an EMP. Oh, we've got an initiation on Pap, and he gets zoned out, but he's not going to die. JP Ryder trying to get anything, but he is dead. We've got a Ravage on the field. It's going to be off on 3. Sausage Link doing tons of damage here, trying to continue in on No Fun Allowed, but he's just going to get shredded. So much right-click, he's just absolutely dead. Asom might be able to get away, but the Ignite's going to be way too much. Youngster's going to fall to the right-click, and 600 damage crit on Voltus. One more poke would have probably done it. And down is going to go the melee Rax in mid. Stairs is just going to heal up in the mid time, and down it all goes. Down goes the Rax in mid, down goes the Rax in top. They're going to be able to get the range Rax too, and with no buybacks on Los, you know, it's not going to be something that they're going to be able to continue in on.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not just going for the throne here. 50 seconds on this Invoker. It's the damage that comes out from this Drow and this Mirana should be able to not be enough to take out these towers, but I mean, play it safe, I guess, you know.
Yeah, they're backing. They've got a 20k net worth lead, and they're backing.
Hey, you know, there's always another item to get in this game.
gotta play for safeties, man. Just gotta play for safeties.
Those fantasy points. That's the important part.
You know it.
Yeah, actually 2,700 gold, should be finishing her Daedalus pretty soon.
So Mirana just picked up a Blink Dagger, and at the end of that last fight, she got her BKB as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's...
So unused BKB, but it is going to be able to be used in the next fight, so then she's going to be able to ignore Ogre, Luna, Invoker.
Yep.
So that'll be pretty nice at the end.
And that's great, especially at this stage in the game. You know, you've had a lot of fights already, a lot of BKBs are lower. This Mirana's full 10-second BKB, she's going to be able to do a lot of work very quickly.
Here we go into the push on bottom. Dire are pretty split off, and they're just running the death ball right now. No fun allowed, just going to merrily sit on the high ground and just poke away at that tower. Aegis is doing wonders for him, but they've got the Bloodlusted Luna! Do it, Bloodlusted Luna. Oh, geez. Ogre's just dead in like 3 hits from the Drow Ranger, and she's going to force staff herself off into La La Land. And there comes the big ultimates! Asom is going to be able to follow up onto everybody. We've got the Sausage Link, Lucent Beam as well. There's the Eclipse. Knock him off, getting the finger in the back end as well. So many down! And now Luna... dead. Tidehunter following back up in on the Drow Ranger, and here comes the Clockwork, trying to go in with the hook shot. Stun gonna come off on 2. We've got the Mirana with the Starstorm to follow, and now Voltus taking the damage. She's gonna go down. Buyback on Invoker. Here comes a Tornado. Buyback on Bane. We've got the Soul Rip coming out on Asom. He does fall. Casual Sunstrike. Stairs blinking forward. Might fall down. 180 HP left on him. No fun allowed. Jumping into super safe territory because everybody's already dead as is. And Youngster's just gonna retreat to the well. We've got the GG called from Papillon.
Wow.
32 minutes and 30.
For a stomp, there were some exciting fights. Like, they were non-stop action for a long time, and and then Mirana almost jumped right into that Sunstrike. That was pretty close.
Well, congratulations to Luckless Gaming, taking it in Game 1 of this Best of 2 series at 32 minutes and 40 seconds, 41-14. Ready to go into Game 2 in just a second, guys. And then I guess this is where I put on music.